Howdy partners, it's Saturday 10th of August. I'm in this instalment going to visit another pub that I haven't gone to see yet for a half pint, or maybe if I'm in a cheeky mood a pint, probably a half pint today, and it's called the Black Horse Pub and it's located in Sheepy, Magna. So let's go and check this pub out. I generally tend to be heading in the same direction for my pub adventures because it's just simply so beautiful this way. I've got a number of pubs in mind to go and check out, but I'm clocking the ones that look really cosy and nice to eat in, because then at a later date I think we'll return in the car with the family. Either that or I'll go on the bike and join them there for a sit down meal. I'm not gonna have a meal today, so I'll be judging judging it based on what it looks like. You can normally tell by the quality of the place what the food's going to be like as well. It's certainly an impression I got with a couple of the pubs I've seen lately. I've just driven by our local, the Manor House that was on my left, and I do believe they will be starting meals tail end of next month. It's always been kind of a struggling pub, but I understand that it changed hands recently, and when I called them and asked them if they had food, they said it was going to be like end of September, so that should be good. Hopefully it'll be some nice grub there, because it is a very local one I can get to easily on foot with the dogs and all the rest of it. I've been there for drinks a few times, but yeah, let's hope that gets a real nice facelift. So I've got quite a journey. I've got a 20-minute journey. I thought I'd have a little chat about the Olympics to kick us off. It's certainly been a very bizarre Olympics in many ways, starting with the opening ceremony, where it was basically a gay trans parody of Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper. Is that Leonardo da Vinci did that painting? The famous painting of Jesus with the apostles, almost like that's kind of replaced Christianity. I don't know if that was their intention, or if they just used that as an inspiration to do kind of like the layout of the shot. But yeah, it was strange to say the very least. Then we had scenes of triathletes plunging into the Seine River and then puking up afterwards. I haven't really been following the Olympics on the whole. I'm mostly interested in the swimming. Today there's a bit of diving, but it's clashing with this bike ride, so I'll probably catch that later on the replay of it. But I do like watching the swimming. I'm not really madly into the Olympics, more into the football really. That's starting next week, the Premier League. But I've got to say, I have watched little bits here and there. It has been interesting. And then there's been this contender for hottest female athlete of the Olympics, and I think this one is probably the one that's won that. I'll put that up on the screen. The Norwegian high jump pole jumper. I saw that on Twitter today. I think there were quite a few other contenders. I had a chance to meet my manager from the US, who was over on a flying visit to London with his wife. I'd only ever met him on Zoom and Teams meetings for the last approaching 2 years I've been with the company, so it's great to meet him finally in person. Let's have a little blast here. And this is the corner where I nearly lost control of my bike when I was overturning a Land Rover on one of my previous visits. So bike kind of did an S shape. so I'm a little bit more careful on that bit. So as I was saying, my colleague, we met for drinks in a London pub, rustic old, classic old, typical bashed up London pub that was nevertheless quite a nice thing to experience, I guess, from America. Had a few London ales there, but then after that we went to this really awesome steakhouse in London that was just across the road on Caledonian Road. I'll flash that up and put something in the description notes, because if you're in London or you're in North London, it's really worth a visit. But I mean, we hadn't booked, but you might want to book, because it was heaving right throughout the afternoon. I'd cased the joint earlier in the day. Oh, my indicator's on. And then when we actually went back, it was still heaving. We managed to get a table, luckily, but we did have to vacate the table within the hour, because there was a reservation after us. So I flashed it up. Really outstanding steak there, I've got to say. The sides and the sauces and everything, and just the right kind of portion as well. You don't come away feeling like stuffed. All the steaks are like 14 quid, which, given the quality of the meat, I thought was pretty decent myself. Then of course you do have to pay for like the sides and the sauces and the beer on top and all the rest of it, but 14 quid for a steak, that's not bad. You could almost just have the steak on its own, it's so tasty. Anyhow, after that, the next day my boss went to Paris, and he had bought some kind of pass to the Olympics. I can tell, I think he's pretty much guaranteed of Irish descent, and I think his wife even said she's of Irish descent too. So they were going on to Geneva and Ireland, and then back to London, then back to the US. Quite the trip, really, they're doing. Good for them. But anyway, I look forward to hearing about how he got on at the Olympics, because he had some kind of pass thing where you buy a pass to, I think, three events and a hotel. I don't know how much it cost him. I didn't ask him, but yeah, I'll get to hear firsthand from him what it's like being at the Olympics. So that's pretty cool. So that is pretty much all I have to say about the Olympics. I think tomorrow is the last day. So yeah, some interesting things happening with the financial markets as well. If you're a Bitcoiner, or if you're into crypto, you would have noticed it's been quite an interesting week, because the Bitcoin, I believe, dipped just below 50, which it hasn't been that low for a long time. Now apparently neither MicroStrategy nor BlackRock nor any of the other big players in Bitcoin, which is, let's face it, is basically a banker coin now. It's lost its way. None of those big guys sold, and sure enough, if you bought the dip, you'll be doing well now, because I checked today and it's back up just above, hovering around the $60k. So it's bounced back really quick within the space of a week. But there are wider concerns in the markets. The stock market, the Japan Nikkei or yen, problems about to erupt there, and some of the doom mongers in crypto are predicting a massive stock market crash, maybe something we've never seen. So that'd be interesting to see if they're all right. They're all right, if they're correct on this. So what's the likely outcome? The likely outcome, according to one analyst, is that the cryptos will be dragged really low before going really high again. I personally have my doubts. I actually don't think, regardless of what happens, the Bitcoin is going to go much below 50. But in a way I hope I'm wrong, because then it'll be another opportunity to load up. Come look at my sausages. Some butcher's farm down there. I'm just driving slowly because I'm in that kind of mood, and I don't want too much wind interference until I can finally get my act together and sort my audio out and actually get a Bluetooth for my GoPro. That would be the best bet. So I'm just taking a leisurely today. But yeah, could we be heading for massive recession? Are the banks now about to collapse? Many banks, one after the other, like a deck of cards. And then turmoil. We've seen a lot of turmoil on the streets here in the UK with the riots, and I might talk about that in a little bit, just give my angle on it. But bad as it is now, if there's a massive, like, Wall Street style crash. This is a beautiful little property here. They're 2 stories. Right, now what's this pub? Because this is one I need to check. Is this one I've done already? Yeah, this is one I've done already. Awesome jockey. Yeah, the riots that we've seen in Middlesbrough and all the rest of it, and Southport, London, will be nothing next to what we'll see if there's a big market crash and the food starts running out. And because this is, at the end of the day, it's people who are disenfranchised, poor, feel abandoned, they've got almost nothing to lose. And there were a lot of troublemakers on that. Anyway, I'll come on to that riots topic in a minute. Although, how many minutes have I got left? Yeah, I got 10 minutes, so before we come on to this pub discovery, which is the main purpose of this video today. It'd be nice if these videos take off, but if anything, I'm doing them for my own benefit, because, as I said, some of these pubs I want to come back to with the family for a meal, and if I need to remind myself what the pub looks like, what my impressions of it were, I could just rewatch my own video. Fast forward to the pub marker in the video. So yeah, so Tommy Robinson, I'm going to talk a bit about the riots now. I think he raises some valid concerns. I think some of his investigative journalism is very interesting. I know he is deplatformed, cancelled, attacked by the left, but I actually think that this is going to sound with the wind noise. I think on this occasion he's gone a bit far, because I feel like he's been capitalising on the stabbings of the 3 little girls, which is absolutely tragic, horrible thing, of course. Trying to put a little bit of distance there with the car that was a bit too close. Anyhow, he's capitalising on that to continue with his, like, Pakistani bashing, when, as it transpires, Muslims had nothing to do with this killing, right, with this murder. It was a Rwandan child of refugees born in Cardiff who just came unhinged, and could have been, I mean, white people do these kind of things too, but so I think Tommy should really have come out and made that point clear, that look, it's not the Muslims this time, but he hasn't. I think he's a bit he's all in now, because I don't think he can really come back to the UK now, because they're just going to bang him in jail for terror charges. It's what they want to nail him anyway. They have been wanting to nail him for while, but yeah, if I were him, I would keep away right now. Nice Kawasaki bike. Is that the Sports Tourer? Or is it a Ninja? I can't really quite tell. Looks like fairly upright, comfortable position. So anyway, he's now released the film that the judge said if he released it, he would get 2 years in jail. He's like released it on Twitter, and it's had, I don't know if I'm exaggerating, 50 million views. But yeah, the Muslims rose up, and whilst, you know, I think it's mental that guys are walking around with machetes and baseball bats, and I think people like that should be arrested, put in jail. Nevertheless, I've got to say, they did act like, stood up as men really, and said, right, we're not going to let you guys destroy our mosques, because, you know, we had nothing to do with this. This is Sheepy Road, Sheepy Magna area. It's very, very beautiful around here. So we're just going to dip into Leicestershire. So yeah, in some ways you got to respect the Pakistani community for standing up, tooling up, and making their stand and saying, right, you ain't going near our mosques, and by the way, this had nothing to do with us. I don't condone or agree with violence of any kind, and I don't believe that mankind will solve these problems. I think we need to turn to the Creator. I'm not going to get all preachy on you on this bike ride, but that's my angle. Do what he says. You know, if everyone obeyed Jesus, there would never been any World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, because we wouldn't be going to kill our brothers in other lands. And there are Christians that actually abide by that as conscientious objectors, of course. But yeah, just looking at things how they are, you know, on the street, I think you had a lot of people with genuine concerns, like I say, disenfranchised people who feel abandoned, people who are angry about boatloads of, maybe I think 1 million illegal immigrants who just want, you know, came into the country last year alone. But mixed amongst that is just really some, from what I've seen, the footage I've seen, some very yobbish people, young people who were just using it as an excuse not to protest peacefully, just to smash in innocent people's car windows and even house windows. That was going on in Middlesbrough. The police were really outnumbered, and you kind of felt sorry for them. People were like setting wheelie bins on fire and smashing them into cops. That was a bit nasty. So anyway, I'm about to arrive, so I think I'll wind it down. But yeah, if we get a market crash, then this is going to be nothing. These riots we've seen, you know, when the food runs out, that's when people will go crazy. That's when people start eating other people, like happened in the Ukraine under Stalin. Was it called the Holodomor, or whatever that was called? Oh, sorry. Did not mean to bib that car driver. So we're going to be very close to the pub. I'll try and show you a little bit, if I can, discreetly, what this pub is like. I love these kind of long walls. Here it is, the Black Horse. Let's see if there's a bit of parking here, and let's go check this one out. Let's see if there is maybe a beer garden or something. We'll see. Maybe I can stick my bike here. Hey guys, I had a bit of an audio malfunction on the way back, where I was commenting on my thoughts on the pub. So I'm just dubbing this over again. I'll probably give the pub a 3 out of 5. The staff, the bartenders were neither friendly nor unfriendly. They were kind of down the middle. Initially, it looked like sort of a fairly average place to have a meal. However, I would say that looks are deceptive because there was an old boy who came in who was trying to book a table for the next day, for Sunday, tomorrow. And the barman said, "No, sorry, we're fully booked." So I would say that's a pretty good sign. So it's maybe not a place I would go to take the family for a meal. Although maybe if I take the time to look up some reviews online, the food comes back as really good. Like, for example, have a really good Sunday roast or something, I might change my view there. But I'm thinking it's more of a place I might just sort of swing by and grab a bite on my way to somewhere else. But the fact that tomorrow, Sunday, is fully booked, you can't book a table, that's a pretty good sign, I would say, with the food. So the pint I had was called, I think, Pedigree. Good pint, and there wasn't really a beer garden as such, but there were a couple of tables outside, in the two immediately next to the pub, and then just across the car park, a couple more tables, tables and chairs, kind of benches. So that was okay, being able to sit outside on a nice sunny day like today. So that's my review of this Black Horse Sheepy Magna pub. If you're passing by the area, I would definitely recommend you go in for a pint. It was busy on a Saturday afternoon. That's a good sign. It's obviously a popular one for the locals. So all in all, a pretty good pub. But they did mention another pub. The old boy who asked to reserve a table, the barman said, "We're booked, but how about you try the Unicorn?" So that's given me another idea. The old boy didn't like the sound of it. Apparently he doesn't like the Unicorn, but that's given me an idea of another pub to check out on a future journey. So watch this space. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and ciao for now. Adios. Goodbye.